My parents banned me from their anniversary party. Hours later, my sister posted a photo that revealed the real reason they didn't want me there, and the truth destroyed their perfect family image forever. My name is Marcus Bennett. I'm 31 years old, and this is the story of how being excluded from my parents' 35th anniversary party led me to discover a secret they'd been hiding for 15 years, and how exposing it changed everything. I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina. My parents, Richard and Patricia Bennett, were both successful professionals. Dad was a senior executive at Bank of America. Mom was a real estate broker. They lived in a beautiful house in Myers Park. Image was everything to them. I had one younger sister, Lauren. She was 28, married to a lawyer, 2 kids, everything my parents wanted. I was the disappointment. I'd studied fine arts, became a graphic designer, made decent money, around $65,000 a year, but nothing compared to what my parents expected. I'd also come out as gay when I was 23. My parents had said they accepted me, but their actions told a different story. They rarely invited me to family events anymore. When they did, they'd ask me not to bring anyone. Keep it low-key, they'd say. I'd stopped going to most gatherings. It hurt too much to feel tolerated instead of welcomed. In March 2025, my parents were celebrating their 35th wedding anniversary. Big party, country club, 150 guests. I'd assumed I'd be invited. It was their anniversary. I was their son. 2 weeks before the party, I'd called my mom to ask what time to arrive. "Marcus, honey, about the party," my mom had started, her voice hesitant. "Yeah, what time should I be there?" I'd asked. "Actually, we've decided to keep this one just for close family and friends. Very intimate. We're not inviting everyone," my mom had explained carefully. "I'm your son. How much closer can you get?" I'd replied, confused. "I know, sweetie, but it's complicated. Your father and I discussed it, and we think it's better if you sit this one out," my mom had said. "Sit this one out? Mom, it's your anniversary. Why wouldn't I be there?" I'd pressed. "Marcus, please don't make this difficult. We're trying to make this a special day. Certain people will be there. Business associates, your father's colleagues. We need everything to be appropriate," my mom had explained. The word appropriate had hit me like a punch. "You mean you don't want your gay son there because it might make people uncomfortable?" I'd stated flatly. "That's not what I said," my mom had protested. "But it's what you meant. Mom, I'm 31 years old. I'm not going to embarrass you. I'm just going to exist, as your son, at your anniversary party," I'd argued. "Marcus, the decision is made. We'd appreciate if you respected it," my mom had said firmly. "Wow, okay. Message received," I'd replied and hung up. I'd been hurt, angry, but not entirely surprised. This was who they were. The day of the party arrived, Saturday, March 22nd, 2025. I'd spent the day at home, working on freelance projects, trying not to think about it. Around 7 p.m., I'd started seeing photos on social media. Lauren had posted several on Instagram and Facebook. The venue looked beautiful. Country club ballroom, flowers everywhere, elegant decorations, photos of my parents looking happy, photos of Lauren and her husband, photos of extended family I recognized. Then I'd seen a photo that made me stop scrolling. It was a group shot, my parents in the center, Lauren and her family on one side, and on the other side, a young man I didn't recognize, maybe mid-20s, standing very close to my parents, my dad's arm around his shoulder, my mom smiling up at him. The caption Lauren had written, "Celebrating 35 years, so grateful for family. Mom, Dad, Lauren, Tyler, and the newest addition to the family, Andrew." Andrew? Who the hell was Andrew? I'd zoomed in on the photo, studied his face. He looked vaguely familiar, but I couldn't place him. I'd called Lauren immediately. "Hey, Marcus," Lauren had answered, her voice cautious. "Who's Andrew?" I'd asked directly. Silence. "Lauren, Who is Andrew? Why is he in the family photo at Mom and Dad's anniversary party? I'd pressed. Marcus, I can't talk about this right now, Lauren had started. You posted it publicly, on Facebook, with a caption calling him family. Tell me who he is, I'd demanded. It's complicated. Mom and Dad should tell you, Lauren had hedged. Mom and Dad didn't even invite me to the party, so you tell me. Now, I'd insisted. Lauren had sighed. Andrew he's Dad's son, from an affair, 15 years ago. He reached out last year. Dad's been getting to know him. They wanted to introduce him to the family tonight. I'd felt like the floor had dropped out from under me. Dad has another son? And nobody told me? I'd said, my voice barely above a whisper. They were planning to tell you, just not yet. They wanted to get to know Andrew first, build a relationship, then tell you, Lauren had explained. They've known for a year and didn't tell me? And they invited him to their anniversary party but not me? I'd said, anger rising. Marcus, they thought it would be easier this way, less complicated, Lauren had tried. Less complicated to exclude their actual son and welcome the product of Dad's affair? Are you hearing yourself? I'd interrupted. I don't agree with how they handled it, but it's their decision, Lauren had defended. Did you know? This whole time? I'd asked. I found out 3 months ago. They asked me not to tell you, Lauren had admitted. Of course they did, because I'm the family embarrassment, the gay son who makes everything complicated. Better to replace me with a straight one from an affair, I'd said bitterly. That's not fair, Lauren had protested. Isn't it? They banned me from their party, but welcomed the affair baby with open arms. What other conclusion should I draw? I'd challenged. I'd hung up, sat there in shock. My dad had cheated on my mom 15 years ago, had a son, and apparently my parents had decided this secret son was more worthy of being at their anniversary party than I was. The betrayal was complete. I'd sat with this information for about an hour, then I'd made a decision. I'd screenshot Lauren's post, the photo of Andrew with my parents, the caption calling him family. I'd posted it on my own Facebook, with a caption, "Congratulations to my parents on 35 years of marriage, and congratulations on welcoming my dad's affair baby to the family. So glad I was forbidden from attending, so you could have this special moment with the son you actually want. Family values at their finest." I'd hit post. Within minutes, my phone had exploded. My mom had called. I'd declined. My dad had called. Declined. Lauren had texted, "Marcus, what did you do?" I'd responded, "I told the truth, something our family seems to struggle with." Texts had started flooding in from relatives, friends of my parents, people asking what was going on. I'd turned my phone on silent, let them deal with it. The next morning, my dad had shown up at my apartment. I'd opened the door to find him standing there. He'd looked exhausted, angry. "Can I come in?" my dad had asked tersely. "Why? So you can explain why your affair baby was more important than your actual son?" I'd replied. "Marcus, please, let me explain," my dad had requested. I'd stepped aside, let him in. We'd sat in my living room. Silence hung between us. "I made a mistake 15 years ago. I had an affair. Andrew's mother contacted me last year, said Andrew wanted to meet me. I agreed, met him. He's a good kid, studying engineering at NC State. I wanted to get to know him," my dad had explained. "And you couldn't tell me this because," I'd prompted. "Because I was ashamed. Because I didn't know how to explain it. Because your mother and I were trying to figure out how to handle it," my dad had said. "So you decided to introduce him to everyone at your anniversary party? The party celebrating your marriage to Mom? The marriage you cheated on?" I'd questioned. "It wasn't my idea. It was your mother's," my dad had revealed. That had surprised me. "Mom wanted him there?" I'd asked. "Your mother's been seeing a therapist, dealing with the betrayal. Part of her healing process was confronting it, meeting Andrew. She suggested we invite him to the anniversary party, show everyone we'd moved past it. that we were stronger than the mistake, my dad had explained. But I couldn't be there. Why? I'd demanded. My dad had looked down. Your mother thought it would be too much. Andrew and you, together. She was worried about how people would react, what they'd say. About me being gay, I'd stated. About everything. About Andrew. About you. She wanted one thing at a time. She wanted to introduce Andrew, show we'd accepted him. Then later, we'd work on other things, my dad had fumbled. Other things. You mean accepting me, I'd clarified. Marcus, we do accept you, my dad had started. No, you don't. You tolerate me. You exclude me. You hide me. And now you've literally replaced me with a straight son from an affair. How is that acceptance? I'd challenged. That's not what happened, my dad had protested. Then what did happen? Explain it to me. Make it make sense, I'd urged. My dad had been silent for a long moment. I don't know if I can. I don't know if there's a way to make this right, my dad had admitted quietly. There might have been, if you'd been honest from the start, if you'd included me, if you'd treated me like I mattered. But you didn't. And now everyone knows the truth about Andrew, about how you treat me, about who you really are, I'd stated. You've humiliated us, our friends, our colleagues. Everyone's talking about it, my dad had said. Good. Maybe they should know that the perfect Bennett family isn't so perfect after all, I'd replied. My dad had left shortly after. Over the next week, the fallout had been intense. My parents' social circle had been buzzing with gossip. The affair, the secret son, my exclusion from the party. Some people had supported my parents, said I was vindictive for posting publicly, but many had been horrified, had called my parents out for excluding me while welcoming Andrew. My mom's sister, Aunt Carol, had called me. Marcus, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. What your parents did was wrong. Completely wrong, Aunt Carol had said. Did you know about Andrew? I'd asked. No, your mother never told me. I'm furious with her. And I told her so, Aunt Carol had revealed. Several other relatives had reached out with similar messages. Support, apologies for not realizing how I'd been treated. My parents had eventually released a statement on Facebook, apologizing for recent events and asking for privacy. They'd never actually apologized to me. 2 weeks after the party, I'd gotten a message from Andrew. Hey Marcus, I don't know if you want to hear from me, but I wanted to reach out. I'm sorry for the position this put you in. I had no idea you weren't invited to the party. Your parents told me they'd talk to you about me, that you were okay with everything. I found out after your post that they'd lied. I'm really sorry. I'd written back, it's not your fault. You didn't ask for this situation any more than I did. But I need you to understand something. They replaced me with you, and that's not something I can just get over. Andrew had responded, I understand. For what it's worth, I'm not trying to replace anyone. I just wanted to know my biological father. I didn't mean to hurt you. I'd appreciated his honesty, but it didn't change anything. 3 months later, my parents had reached out asking to meet, to clear the air. We'd met at a neutral location, a coffee shop. We're sorry, my mom had started, for how we handled everything. We should have told you about Andrew. We should have invited you to the party. Why didn't you? I'd asked. My mom had looked at my dad, then back at me. Because we were afraid, my mom had admitted. Afraid of what people would think. About Andrew, about you, about us. And we made a choice, the wrong choice. We prioritized appearances over you, our son. That's the first honest thing you've said, I'd observed. We want to make it right, if you'll let us, my dad had said. How? I'd challenged. By doing better, by including you, by treating you the way we should have all along, my mom had offered. And Andrew? I'd questioned. He's part of our lives now. We can't undo that. But you're our son. You come first. That should have always been true, my dad had stated. I'd thought about it. I need time to figure out if I can trust you again, if I even want to. We understand, my mom had said. It's been 6 months. My relationship with my parents is slowly improving. They've made efforts, invited me to family dinners, included me in holidays. They've also backed off on Andrew, maintained a relationship, but stopped centering him in family events. Lauren and I are closer than ever. She's admitted she should have stood up for me sooner. As for Andrew and me, we're cordial, not brothers, but not enemies. Just two people connected by complicated circumstances. Here's what I learned. Some people will choose image over integrity every time. My parents excluded me to avoid uncomfortable conversations. That choice revealed who they really were, people more concerned with appearances than with their own son. I also learned that secrets always surface. My parents thought they could control the narrative, introduce Andrew on their terms, keep me hidden. But the truth came out anyway, and it was messier because they tried to hide it. Most importantly, you teach people how to treat you. For years, I'd accepted being excluded, being tolerated instead of celebrated. My public post was me finally saying, enough. It cost me my relationship with my parents temporarily, but it also forced them to confront their behavior. Some families are built on love, others are built on image. Know which one you're in before you sacrifice yourself to maintain it. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and tell me which country you're watching from. I love hearing from all of you. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss these powerful stories about family, secrets, standing up for yourself, and understanding that the truth will always be more powerful than a perfect facade. New story every single day that will make you think, feel, and connect. See you in the next one. Take care.